This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Today, you know, I talk about very specific companies a lot of times as far as being great companies. And one of them is Flying Pig Games, one of my favorite companies of all time. And Mark Walker is an absolute genius. And we'll talk, I could sit here and talk about him all day long. And I can also talk about the brilliant designer, Herman Luttman, who I'm very proud to call a very good friend, along with Mark Walker. So if you think this is a very one-sided review in a way, you can look at it that way, but there's a reason for it, and it's because of my belief in this company and this game and the designer himself and what you're going to see today. So I'm going to save that for the back end because that's going to be the long part, okay? Me talking about it. But today we're going to be taking a look at what I consider one of the best Gettysburg games I've seen in a long time and played in a long time. And that is A Most Fearful Sacrifice from our good friends Mark Walker, Flying Pig Games, and the great and awesome Herman Luttman. So let's go down to the table. I want to show you this tremendous map, which I found it very moving when I laid it out on this table, and I had to lay it on the table. And one of the reasons I built this table was to facilitate this particular game and games like it, okay, where I can leave it up and still have room to do 19 other things that I want to do. So let's go down to the table. Rick Barber, you know, lost his life unfortunately last May, and this is one of his finest works. This is just absolutely beautiful, and let's go take a look at it, talk a little bit about the game. We're not going to go over all the rules. I'm going to give you a little taste of this and why you need to go get this and why you need to, and we'll talk about it more on the back end. So let's go down the table. Now the first thing I want to do is just have you understand the scope of this magnificent map. I mean, this is, I mean, there's just no way that you can understand the scale of this. Now, this is a 6-foot map, and this beautiful map takes care of everything, and the artistry that is involved in this. I mean, just taking a look at this, you can see how beautiful and absolutely gorgeous this map is. But, you know, this map just kind of sums up in so many different ways how fantastic this game is. Don't let the map alone is beautiful, and you can look at it for days upon days and I think months upon months and not see every detail. Every time you look at it, there's something else that you see, and I'm just trying to really zoom in here a little bit and just give you a feel for the detail. Another fantastic, wonderful, just tremendous job by Flying Pig. Rick Barber, God rest his soul, just one of his finest works for sure. So let's move on and talk a little bit about this game. Now we're going to talk, I'm not going to explain every rule and everything like that, but I really want to point out some of the things that are really brilliant here and that really set this game apart, and really just this is why Flying Pig Games are just so fantastic, and the things that they do are just beyond words. First of all, the clean and beautiful rule book. There's not a lot to this. I think all in all, you have a little bit of a history lesson here, and then I think it's about 20-something pages of actual rules that really tell you everything that you need to do. It's easy to find, it's easy to go through. Everything, you know, it covers everything, easy to find. Again, examples of play, So in case you don't understand something, they walk you through it and give you everything that you need with pictures and everything like that. And really, it was really easy to understand. Playing this with a fantastic index, when you have a question, it's there. The scenario book here is another fantastic, well-rounded job. You're going to start with the slaughter pen, which is just a small area of this humongous map. And believe me, when you want to get to the bigger parts, but you really kind of need to build and tell the story all the way through. There's some really neat things here. The Devil's to Pay, of course, that fantastic game from our good friend. And again here, they have a nice touching tribute to Rick Barber, who did this fantastic map. I mean, you can't help but look at this map and realize what a tremendous loss we had with him passing away last May. There are a couple other things, and another one that I really love in here, these scenarios. I don't want to ruin too much for everybody. I want you to discover this, because this is just the quintessential Gettysburg game to me, and I really, you'll hear more about it up on top here, but there's actually a scenario called In Magnificent Style, of course. Herman, yeah, there we go, In Magnificent Style. You're going to be using a couple of these scenarios, this entire board, which is just fantastic. Books aside, gameplay is just absolutely glorious. The way this all works out and how it all comes together is really simple, but at first it takes a little getting used to. You're going to advance the game turn marker, which game turns are done, of course, in hours. Okay, so everything is done within an hour, which is really cool. Then what you're going to do is you are going to you're going to have your divisions, and you're going to want to have the better division up front and the poorer divisions, because as you can tell, leadership is a key thing in this, and we'll explain that in a bit. You're going to have your deck, and depending on evens or odds turn, either the Union will go, or of course the Rebels will go. But you're going to turn your cards over, and this will give you your commander. As you can see, Commander Howard, and then what you're going to do is roll a die, okay? And that's going to give you a priority. Now on this, because Howard is poor, you're going to have to use the red. You have no choice. You have to use one brigade from DP1. And what you're going to do is you are going to roll here, okay? And even if it says division, the only thing you could do is brigade. But as you roll deeper, you're going to be able to get division priority 1, and you would roll, and if you got a 6, you'd be able to move your entire division. Okay, so that's going to help you. But because Howard is so poor, communication between the generals really does, and the command section, if it is poor, it is going to reflect in your rolls and such, which is, I think, absolutely fascinating and absolutely brilliant. Now, the other really fascinating part of this, and we'll show you a little bit of combat too, because I really want to just pick out the things that are brilliant. You're going to be pulling some of these cards, and they may just have an event in it that may not fit what you can do in that particular scenario. But you can always use it at the bottom here, either for a minimum move or issue a fire command. So you can hold on to these if they're for you, of course, and if the event you'll think will come up, you can hold on to it. But the other thing is, you have to make a decision whether you want to use it for a move or a fire. You can't hold on to it and say, well, I'll use this for a move and fire later, which is very interesting, because moving and firing is absolutely gorgeous here. Of course, in typical fashion, you are going to have these fantastic player aids. And I do mean fantastic, because there is not a lot of player aids. You don't have 15, 20 player aids. Everything is condensed in here. And I've heard people say that the type is too small. I don't. I'd rather have fewer player aids and more information on it, where I could just put on my reading glasses, and I do need reading glasses because I'm old, and I find that this really works well. And this combat system is just something that is special. And we're going to try to explain this very, very quickly for you, and then get this up top. The beauty part about this is pulling these cards, and you can fire as much as you can with one particular unit if you can. And remember, it never took long to load these muskets and stuff like that. You were playing 1 hour, not in minutes, but you're playing an hour. How long did it take them? It only took them like 3 or 4 minutes, and then maybe under pressure, maybe more. So maybe they could fire 5 or 6 times in an hour. Really interesting how this works out. What you are going to do is in combat, you're going to look for the range, okay? And the range is determined on your sheet here, depending on what the whether it's infantry, mounted cavalry, and there is an effective range and a long range. And you don't count the hex that the chit is in, you count the next hex. So this would be effective range. So it would be a column shift, okay? And like a lot of different games, it has a column shift. The maximum you can ever go to is 10, okay? But if you shift, you can always shift up to 5 times, and nothing exceeds that more. Of course, the more you shift, the worse, the worse damage you're going to do. On the lower end, you can never shift any more past the 1. Everything is just usually 1. Okay, so a maximum here, a maximum there. But you can shift depending on, of course, looking at what would cause the column shifts, your fire combat column shifts, terrain, targeting, all the different type of things that would come into causing you to shift either once or twice to the left or right. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come up with your number. Now, where do you come up with the number? Now, that is going to be this number right here, which is the 10. That is the maximum that you can do. You can stack units. You can have a 9 and a 7. Okay, but it can only fire if you wanted to fire as a combined unit up to a maximum of 10. So you would be wasting this unit. What you would want to do is, if you had this, have them fire at 2 different units and split their fire. Makes sense, right? Okay, there you go. All right, now for instance, we are going to fire onto this unit. What's going to happen is we're going to roll 3 dice. Okay, this is going to be the 1s, this will be the 10s, and this will be our fire combat cohesion die. And that comes out to a 63. Okay, so a 63 on a 10 is what we're going to do, and we're going to cross-reference that. So 63 onto a 10, that's actually a really good roll. That is going to be a C, okay? So where do we go? What does the C matter? Well, down here, okay, in our fire combat table, cohesion test, we are going to come over to C, okay? And now we are going to take this number here, which is a 4, and add it with their defensive value, more or less, cohesion number, which is 3, and that's going to give us a 7. And we're going to come down this chart, and then we're going to come all the way across. And as it says, DP. DP means that what we're going to do is we are actually going to turn that over. But there's a thing here that goes a little bit farther here. In parentheses, it has a skedaddle number. So when it's in parentheses, you can decide to do it or just take the DP. Now you have to take the first result, and some have a slash in it where you can take the first result or the second result. But you can choose, wow, I just got knocked out here, I'm going to skedaddle backwards 3. It may be advantageous to do that. Or you may want to hang in there and keep this locked in battle, saying, okay, you know something? And there are other things that you can do. You can get shaken, but if you ever get 2 shakens, you're going to take another thing, and you can very well take a broken test and end up out of combat. Very simple, very ingenious, and it makes you make smart decisions.
okay? Or it makes you make decisions depending on what you roll. You just don't get, there's a shaken and you could skedaddle. It really gives you a strategic, well, do I want to back up or do I want to hang in here? Do I want to hold on and try to fire back knowing that he fired already and I might have a chance to assist or do something where I can help another unit in some way that hopefully I can maybe make a difference and maybe back them up. Maybe I want to hold that ground and not have them go. This is a brilliant system, and this just shows you the genius of Herman Luttman and all the greatness that he is. Just really fantastic. You're going to go through your activation phases. You're going to work through, and you're going to work through your scenarios. And you're going to see at the end who is holding certain objectives depending on what the scenarios are. But this is just it's just so tight. I'm not even going to get into assault combats or artillery because there are different things that you can do there. The card system is absolutely brilliant and really makes it interesting because you just don't know what the next card's going to be, how it's going to affect you, how you're going to use it, your strategy. Easy to learn, impossible to master. A just brilliant game from our friends at Flying Pig Games and Herman Luttman. You put Mark Walker and Herman Luttman together, you are going to get magic every single time. Let's go up top, get my final thoughts on this. We're going to do a live playthrough. I promise you, my son and I have been really making sure that we have the rules down, and I'll tell you, easy, very simple, very clean to learn. So if you're intimidated by this type of game, don't be. You'll be missing out if you do not purchase this. Let's go up top, get my final thoughts, and boy, I've got a lot to say about this one. Where do I start here? First of all, let me just start with the overall quality. Flying Pig Games is one of the best companies out there. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why I really feel that when Mark Walker, Herman Luttman, let's look at his resume on top of working with the fantastic Mark Walker, okay? Magnificent Style, Devil to Pay, Dawn of the Zeds, okay? Just Crowbar. Fantastic, wonderful, passionate games, okay? And I really want to hit on Mark Walker and the greatness that he does. Making a game as fantastic as this, and the quality, every one of his games, quality through the roof. You get top-notch quality, top-notch gameplay, and this is what makes this company great, because I've never played a bad game by them, okay? And here's the thing. A lot of people don't understand the formula of these two gentlemen and the formula that they have created, and it shows, and it's passionately showed in this company, which is a fantastically run company, okay? Has his daughter working with him, the great Greg Porter, and of course, Mark himself. Mark, a fellow gamer like us, what does he try? What is the formula that him and Herman have that nobody else, I'm not going to say nobody else has, but people don't realize, okay? And they don't get it through their heads. And you have some of these people that stand on top of their soapboxes and, well, it's not complicated. It's about fun, folks. Games, in their essence, are about fun. And when you can take a subject like this and historically keep it real with the butternut flavor to it, look at those counters. Those are historically accurate because Herman loves Gettysburg, always has. And you could feel his passion through it. It started with The Devil May Pay, and how he wanted to make the grand and epic Gettysburg game. And he has done that. But what has he done here? He made it so you're not overly complicated. what is brilliance? Okay, is it making a game so hard that you know, there are some games out there, and this is no reflection on some people, and I'm actually looking for the game because of, you know, take a look at Pacific War and how complicated it is. Brilliantly done, okay, by a mastermind. But you can also be brilliant, yet simplify things and have a strategic value and make it fun. That is the ultimate ending of the game. There's nothing wrong with complicated. It doesn't make you any smarter because you can learn a game that you know, you're basically reading War and Peace for a manual. It doesn't make you any more brilliant. It doesn't make you any smarter or any better of a war gamer. When you can take games and simplify them to a point where there is such a strategic value there, okay, yet you can sit down and play a massive game and understand the rules here and see the simplicity and yet the deep strategy and have fun and be able to the one thing that they do when they create games, okay, is make it where you can understand the game, sit down for an afternoon with a friend, be able to talk to each other without having to look at 19,000 different charts, have to go through a 167-page rule book, and be able to sit down with each other and enjoy each other's company and your passion for wargaming and things. And this is the formula that these two geniuses, okay, put into every single game. And this is why I will die on a hill over this company, okay? This is one of the best companies out there. Yes, are they friends of mine? Sure are. And that's because of how they drew me in with their passion for their games. And I got to know them. Now, I've been screaming about Flying Pig when I didn't even know them. When I picked up the very first game over at Huracan, okay, and I go, what's this old school tactical thing, Volume 1? I go, well, this is interesting looking. I never heard of it. They go, oh yeah, it was a Kickstarter thing. And I paid whatever they wanted me to pay at that time, and I brought it home, and I sat there and I played this game, and I put up a video, and Mark got a hold of me and said, hey, I really appreciate you doing that. And we've talked ever since. And I've started to understand his way of thinking and how he does things. And I got to meet Herman and understand how he does things. And this made me really jump on board and say, this is why this company, this game, everything about this game is a passion and a love letter to one of the most historic battles ever, Gettysburg. And they hit it on the head, folks. If you have a chance to get this, you will be missing out if you do not. And I highly suggest it, because it's not, I'm telling you, it's going to sell out. It's going to sell out, and it ain't going to be around, all right? Get on it while you can. I hope I was able to show you enough that you can get a feel for it. I didn't go over movement and everything. But when you only have a couple of charts that you have to look to, and everything's on there, yes, the font's small, but this is why I would need it even if they were bigger, because I need reading glasses half the time. No, dead on. The command system, light years ahead. The combat system, fantastic, because it tells a story. They are telling a story, a fantastic story, through their gameplay. This is what makes them brilliant, and they make it fun. Every game's fun. If you like this, hey, a most fearful sacrifice. One game I have been waiting for quite some time for, and I'm going to sing my praises all day long for it. Check it out. If you don't believe me, check out some of the videos. Check out our gameplay video that we are planning to do very, very soon. And make a decision for yourself. This is just my opinion. But I will tell you this. How brilliant is Mark Walker? Well, let me tell you something. Maybe you're not a Gettysburg fan. Watch next week when we cover The Long Road, World War III, with a paranormal twist. All I'm going to say is the if you have ever played Platoon Commander, you're going to want to check this out, and you're going to want to check out this video next week. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob saying, we'll see you soon, everybody. Go pick this up while you can. You won't be disappointed. A Most Fearful Sacrifice. Another masterpiece from Mark Walker and the great Herman Lutman, with beautiful art by the late Rick Barber. See you later, everybody.